What's good, guys? It's your boy, the 6'8 Cop, coming to you with another video. You see the thumbnail, the good, the bad, and the ugly of being a police officer. Let's get into it. The good. Law enforcement has a lot of good aspects about it. I'm only going to talk about a few today. One of the ones I think is uniforms. I remember when I graduated back in 2012, Class A was the only uniform that we had, unless you were on a special unit. Now you see some departments that are trying to incorporate the tactical vest as well as BDUs. I know my department, we're one of the ones. We're trying to incorporate it. It's just a lot more comfortable. It looks a little bit better, I think. Class A has its purpose for special events and things like that. So that's one of the good things about law enforcement, especially being able to adjust to the times. Also, I'm gonna say cars. I'm 6'8", and I drive a Tahoe. Once again, 2012, it was that old Crown Vic. So if you guys been in law enforcement for a while, the Crown Vic was a good car, but for me being 6'8", it wasn't too good. I do miss them, but at the end of the day, the vehicles do change with time. So cars, you got fast cars, you got special unit cars, you got cars with lights, you got cars with no lights. That's one of the good things of law enforcement, man, being able to have multiple types of vehicles. It's really cool looking. Also too, well, let's be honest, driving them cars fast, that's one good thing I like about law enforcement, man. You get to drive fast. Some people may not understand it, but it's a thrill. But we do it responsibly. I would say when I was in the academy, that defensive driving course was the best thing I had done when I was in the academy. I really enjoyed it. So that's one good aspect as far as law enforcement. Man, also too, building relationships with fellow officers. Not necessarily just people that you work with at your department, but other officers in different cities. I think the family aspect of it is also great. Building relationships with outside of work, as well as in the community. That's one of the things that is really good about law enforcement. Also, training. I can't talk enough about training. I'm sorry. Training is key in law enforcement. That's one of the good things about it. We are always training, whether it's the gun range, whether it's hand-to-hand combat. All of those are good aspects when it comes to law enforcement. Solving the crime is a very, very good aspect of law enforcement. Great feeling. Nothing is better than putting in work, depending on the case that you're working. Nothing is better than that feeling of being able to solve a crime. It's gathering information, talking to people, building relationships with people, showing them that you care, and that you are willing to put forth that extra effort to see that crime solved. That is, to me, what we're here for. We're here to put our feet to the ground and make sure that we get a good result and make things better for people. So solving crime is definitely a good aspect of law enforcement. The bad. Where there is good, there is definitely bad. Guys, law enforcement does have some bad aspects to it, but I'm gonna go talk about a few. And that first is that stress. Everybody knows about it, guys. We put that uniform on, get in that patrol unit, head to work, not knowing what the day has in store for us. That's stress within itself. But I learned a long time ago, you have to have some kind of outlet, some kind of outlet to be able to deal with that. Just responding to calls, we are the mediators for a lot of situations. We take on other people's issues. We try to be the person of reason when we are on the call, and that is definitely stressful. The physical aspect of what we deal with, most officers don't take it seriously. and it can also cause an officer get hurt if they don't take it seriously. One of my last videos, I talked about how important being physically fit is for me, and I hope it's the same for you guys. All right, another bad aspect is, guys, we have a high-risk job and low reward. You know, we put that uniform on every day, and we do things that most people won't think of doing. You know, and a lot of departments don't get paid a lot for what we do, you know, but that's part of it. You know, you don't necessarily get into it for the money. Honestly, when I started law enforcement, I had never thought about prior being a police officer, but the more and more I got involved and the more and more I dealt with people and was able to help them, you know, it benefited me. And also too, guys, with the high risk, guys, officers are putting their life on the line every day. If you're not familiar with the Officer Down Memorial page, as of right now, today, we are up 14% from where we were last year in officers' deaths. Whether it's shooting, accidents, whatever the case may be. Just recently, we had 2 officers in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, got shot and one of them lost his life. You know, we respond in situations and we had no idea what the outcome is going to be. So that's definitely one of the bad parts of law enforcement, guys. Another part is time. My department, our department is a smaller department. You know, we work what we call the Panama schedule, and basically what that is, we work 12-hour shifts. So the way my schedule works is I work Monday and Tuesday, I'm off Wednesday and Thursday, and I work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The following week, I'm off Monday and Tuesday, work Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I mean, it sounds good, but in a small department, usually if we have something going on, the days that we're off, we're not really off. We're either having meetings or some kind of training. And that can kind of interfere with, you know, your day-to-day lifestyle. You know, you may have to miss birthdays, you may have to miss vacations, trips, holidays, anniversaries. Not necessarily on your off days, but just being a police officer altogether. Those things are, to me, considered some of the bad things. You know, you try to make up with the family or whatever the case may be for missing, but that's part of what we have to deal with. So that is definitely some of the bad things that we deal with as law enforcement officers. The ugly. Guys, there are some ugly aspects when it comes to law enforcement. The first thing that comes to my mind is we see people at their worst. A lot of the times when we respond to calls, it may be a crime committed. You may have people with high emotions reacting to us responding to calls. And I'm gonna be honest with you, 9 times out of 10, people don't call unless something bad happens. You may get a situation where people may call and tell you, thank you for officer doing a good job, but the majority of the time it's for something bad happening. Also, another ugly part of it is the emotional aspect. If you have a situation where you have a stressful day and you come home and you bring that emotion that you took on to your house, it can definitely affect your household. Believe it or not, guys, law enforcement has a high divorce rate. And we have to have a practice of not bringing that situation home to our family and being able to deal with it. Another thing that's ugly about law enforcement is having to do death notifications, having to remove a child from a house. Just seeing that response from a family member when they know that their child or their loved one won't be able to come home. Won't be able to come home to them. Removing kids from situations where maybe the parents are, you know, on drugs, or maybe the parents are sexually assaulting them, and we have to remove them from that situation. Those are some of the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis that are really ugly when it comes to law enforcement. So, guys, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It was just a little information I want to drop to you guys. Guys, don't forget to comment, like this video, and subscribe. And please hit that notification button for many, many more videos. Guys, I thank you. I appreciate you. Stay safe. Holla back at your boy. Peace.